What's up, everyone? Good morning. Coming at you from the Hunting Happiness podcast. This is Chris P. Austin, where you can always find it. YouTube, searching Chris P. Austin, Hunting Happiness. You can find it on any of the social media platforms, and you can definitely find it on any of the podcast hosting platforms, SoundCloud, Spotify, Apple Music. Jump on there and hit that subscribe button. So what we're getting into today is how to crush social media for beginners 2022. So for those of you who don't know, I have multiple social media accounts that all do different things. I've got some in the business space, I've got some in the sports space, I've got my personalized account, and today's day and age, there's a lot of places where people are doing social media, and there's a lot of things that people feel like they have to know in order to be able to have success, and it can be really overwhelming. But I want to address three really important things today and give you guys some quick information on how you can be better about crushing social media as a beginner in 2022. So when I talk about crushing social media, what am I saying? I'm not talking about a specified number of followers or engagement. I'm talking about you being able to feel like you're getting your message out there and you being able to reach more people who are interested in your message and getting them to a new level. So specifically, those of you who are wanting to engage in social media for your business, how to go about getting your business out there. The number one thing that I'm going to tell you is you need to make sure that you have a presence on multiple platforms. So right now, the hottest platforms that you're going to want to be a part of is making sure that you're getting on TikTok. You're going to want to make sure that you have an Instagram. You're going to want to make sure that you even have a Facebook, and then also a LinkedIn and or Twitter account. And the reason that it's important to have those is that's where the primary engagement's coming from right now. So the majority of older users and younger users are engaging with the shorter videos on TikTok, the short form content. The people who are on Instagram, that's going to be your most hearty, meaty, long-standing visual content grabbers. The people who are on Facebook, that's still where you're going to find a lot of the people who are interested in more family-oriented things, business-oriented things. LinkedIn, heavily business, recruiting for businesses, and having business applications. And then when it comes to Twitter, that's where you're going to find a lot of the entertainment media, political media, sports media. And then of course YouTube, if you're a person who's interested in more long form content, and even now with YouTube Shorts, more short form content, YouTube is a place that you want to start to have a presence. And so the reason that it would be important for you to start to build a presence in multiple places is you want your growth to become organic. And what I mean by organic is if you're trying to force the issue on one platform and that platform doesn't necessarily bode well with your message right away, you're potentially losing so much engagement and so many people who are interested in your message from another one of these platforms. So number one is making sure that you are on multiple platforms. So if you're a person who's just starting your social media journey, or you're just getting into it, or you're just getting more serious about it, the number one piece of advice that I would give you is making sure that you have a presence on multiple platforms. Okay, number two is making sure that you're creating more than 7 pieces of content per week. And so that can be 1 per day, that can be multiple per day, and maybe you have a day off, or you could go far more than 7, but at least 7 pieces of content. And why that is the algorithms right now for these platforms are taking in information, they're having people sift through it, and then they're spitting it back out to the people who engage with that the most. So the more content that you have available on your platforms of choice, the more your percentage is raised for you to be able to have people engage with what you're saying, what you're putting out there, what you're potentially selling, and the information that you're giving. So how you can be more specified with that is if you're going to put together a plan or program, you can go either way on this. Okay, you could be a person who schedules out your week and you say, I want to make this many pieces of content at the beginning of the week, and then I want to be able to put those things out as the week goes on. Or you could be a person who does freestyle content the same day as you're getting this stuff done, or that you're putting out this information, but you do want to make sure that you're giving people content on what your product is, what your business is, what your lifestyle is, and sharing information about what it is you do. minimum 7 times per week. If you're doing it at a minimum of 7 times per week, you're going to see a lot more value, and you're going to start to see the numbers grow of people who are interested in what you're doing. And for third, if you really want to crush it, if you really want to go to a new level with your social media and be able to kick in and break in, you've got to make sure the things that you're putting out are authentic, and you've got to make sure the things that you're putting out actually show what it's like to be engaged with you. So if you're creating content based on what you think people want to see, and that's the only reason, you're less likely to have great results. If you're putting out content based on what you see other people doing and you believe that that's the trend, so on TikTok you see people dancing, so you say, even though I'm not a dancer, I'm going to start putting out this dance content so that I can blow up on TikTok. You're not going to see as good results. If you're on Instagram and you see people modeling or going to the beach and posting pictures of them in a bikini or posting pictures of them in their board shorts, and you're like, that's not really what I do, but that's what I got to do to get followers because look, this person has this many followers, you're unlikely to get as much natural engagement. Your natural engagement is going to come from you showing people authentically who you are and what your message is that you're trying to put out. The people who want to gravitate toward your message and what you're putting out will come. They're going to find your content when you're putting it out consistently. They're going to find it when you're putting it out authentically. So the self or the business or the product that you're showing, you want to make sure that that's actually yourself and that's actually your product and that's actually the way you live, because people understand. When they see the content, they understand if they're getting an authentic product, they understand if they're getting an inauthentic product. So I'll share with you a couple of my businesses right now that you can go find yourself. If you were to go find Setter College Volleyball, for example, that's one of my first sports businesses that I opened up. You can find it on YouTube, you can find it on Instagram. Those have had so much natural engagement because originally the content we were putting out was very specified for 3 areas. I was only talking about the mental space and the technical space and the leadership space. And in those 3 areas, that's what the game of volleyball was really missing as far as a media presence and as an in-person presence. So now there's people who engage with those accounts and they reach out in the DM and they say, we want to travel from very far away to come get this product because we haven't seen that, and we've seen repetitively by looking at your page how authentic the videos are, how authentic the youth and adults who engage are, and that's what they want to experience. If it comes to a different setup like CPA Facility, which has a TikTok account, a YouTube account, and an Instagram account, and is available on any of those platforms, what you see when you go there is a little bit more of the cultural example of the people who work with me, the people who come to the facility, the different demographics, the different sports. So you'll find older people, younger people, white people, brown people, Asian people. You'll find all sorts of different demographics. You'll find all sorts of different types of people, but all fitting within the same system. So creating more of a culture. And the people who enjoy that, they come to the facility, they travel, and they're completely separate groups. So if you were to go sift through the followers on TikTok of Setter College and CPA Facility, and you were to sift through the followers on Instagram of Setter College and CPA Facility, you're going to find many different followers, yet with a pretty decent sized following, because people are looking for the different products. And there's an authenticity into what goes out into those products. As opposed to Chris P. Austin pages, which has, all these different accounts, but is very centered and focused on mentality, business, sports, and relationships. And people know when they come, that's what they're going to receive. The Chris P. Austin page isn't about coaching sports. Chris P. Austin page isn't about putting together programming for businesses. What the Chris P. Austin page is about, it's people knowing that this is the centerpiece where they can get mentality, they can get situational understanding, they can get any of the products that they want to have their non-team related life start to expand upon. And so making sure that if you have one business that you really want to go well, or you just want to grow your personal brand, you start to put energy into those three things. So number one, again, making sure that you have a presence on multiple social media platforms so you can really work at finding your niche or niches in terms of the audience who wants your information. Number two, making sure that when you have these platforms, you put time and energy into having at least 7 pieces of content per week, and being very consistent about putting that out so your audience knows it's coming. This information's gonna come. And don't be nervous about giving out free information, free content, because people are not coming to you because you have some type of information that nobody else in the world has. People are coming to you because they believe that you're somewhat of an expert in your field and an expert in your topic, and that you would be able to help them get to a new level. And then finally, that third thing, making sure that you have an authenticity into your message, what you're putting out there, what you're saying, who you're reaching, not going based on what you've seen from other people or what you feel like the trends are, but going into what your message, what your business, what your product is actually putting forth. And the people who are supposed to engage with you, they will come. With those 3 things, if you put those into motion and you get consistent with them, you're gonna be able to crush social media as a beginner in 2022. So if you have any other questions on this topic, I want you to make sure to put them in the comment section below. Smash that like button before you leave the page, hit subscribe. Remember that you can listen to this podcast, Hunting Happiness, on any of the social media platforms. You can listen on any of the podcast hosting platforms, and subscribing to YouTube at Chris P. Austin. Jump in that comment section, talk to me. Let's get to a new level this month. We'll see you next podcast.